Well, Jesus H. Christ. I'll do my usual disclaimer that there'll be swearing, possibly. Well, there already has been. And the screen's going to be black, especially with this one, because I'm literally going to record it and upload it. You may have seen that there's been some issues recently in the RC community, and I even made a bit of a jokey video / explainer on what was happening and my thoughts about it that went up on Monday night. It was a bit jokey because the situation seemed hilarious at the time because it was so fucking stupid. But things have taken a certain turn, so I've decided to basically make this video, which, as I say, is going to be a little bit... literally, I'm recording it and uploading it, so the volumes might not be right. It's just going to be a black screen because there's nothing to really show you or anything like that. So I got back from work. I'd seen this pop up on my Apple Watch that something was happening. A video from Matt with a slightly sensationalized title of "The Saddest Day for RC." Not necessarily. I would say that the saddest day for RC would be if somebody died, like if XJet died. If Bruce Simpson, when you die, that would be the saddest day for RC. That was a weird turn. You can tell I'm not as scripted as I was in the first video I did on this. But basically, yeah, watch the video of Matt's called "The Saddest Day for RC," because that will fill you in on what's happened. Basically, Ali has turned around and said that Matt's a racist, and that's why he doesn't like the model, or doesn't like X, Y, or Z, or whatever. It has spiraled from basically exactly like the first video was, especially at the beginning with the drama alert intro, was basically me laughing at a grown adult, supposedly, throwing his toys out of the pram like a little kid. And it's now gone into serious allegations and slander, which is pretty ironic and hypocritical considering that's what Ali was saying that Matt was doing. There was some back and forth going on, not really from Matt. It was Ali was posting stuff, then seeing how other people reacted it into another group, and then posting about how people were reacting back into his original group. Again, if you don't know what the hell's going on, I should probably say this before we go too far in the video. I did a video on it. You can see Matt's video on being banned for not flying a straight line. That's the other video, which is quite a decent title, to be fair, because that was all that was really wrong with it. It didn't fly straight the first few times. Since Ali said that Mathew is being racist, that's what he exactly said. Matt then said, basically, are you fucking serious? He turned around and said, oh no, I meant another Mathew. Even though this beef that's been going on has been with that Mathew. If you're going to submit serious allegations, then you should be very specific about who you're aiming them at. Because, of course, anybody in their right mind knows that the two have got a beef. If then one person names the other person by their first name, then I'm going to presume it's the other person who's, it's the person who the guy's having the beef with. In the same way that if Matt says Ali, I would presume it was Ali Mansoor. Even though there's loads of Alis in the world, Ali is like a Mathew name, even more so, you could say, for that area of the world and the original area where Ali is from. And then the rest of the post after where he says that he clearly meant another Ali is just kind of trolling like a 14-year-old playing Call of Duty. And just making himself sound like an absolute fucking mental case. Supposedly he has no money in this model. He's just an influencer. He's not part of LTE. He's not been paid, supposedly, to do anything with it. So why he's gone off the fucking deep end so much? Like, I feel like a lot of people just simply wouldn't because of the damage it would do to them. Which is clearly done, because it's fucked over LTE, it's fucked over Songbo Shi, which I'll get onto in a moment, and obviously it's fucked over him. And I think it eventually got to the point where he wasn't getting the reaction that he wanted, so he played the race card. I sometimes feel like, and I know that there's going to be people who are going to complain about me saying this, but as a as a white male who's straight and who identifies as a male, I don't have any of the 4 main cards there. The 4 main cards that you can pull out. The only cards that I possibly have is the fact that, especially recently, I have asthma. So if I wanted to, I could not wear a mask. I still do, even though there's people who have asthma. I'm doing air quotes here. They didn't have asthma until they were asked to wear a mask. And then all of a sudden they have asthma. And you're not allowed to ask for a doctor's note, even though I could happily provide one because I've had asthma since I was about 8. And I've had asthma on my work file, for example, since I joined the company. But no, apparently everybody has asthma now, so nobody wears a fucking mask, and it infuriates me. Or the mental health card. I've suffered from depression in the past, compared to where I was at the start of July 2019, where I basically had a fucking breakdown. I'm miles better than I was. There's nothing to be worried about with that. But, they're the only 2 cards I could possibly play. But the 4 main ones of not being a woman, not being anything other than white, being straight, and identifying as the gender that I was born with, or so I haven't got access to any of those cards. And I know of people who I was dealing with a situation at work, and a girl said to me, "It's a shame it's not me, because I would just say that, are you discriminating against me because I'm a woman?" And more than likely that would have got some traction and got her issue sorted out. My issue didn't get sorted out because I didn't have a card to play in that situation. He also says that the LTE Rambler is perfect. There's no such thing as a perfect model. There just isn't. It's not possible. Every model has something that someone would personally have different. There's no such thing as a perfect anything. It just doesn't exist. The big question, and the main reason why I wanted to make this video is, and it was a question that Matt asked for comments on, and I thought I'd sort of roll it into a video. What do we do from here? He, I believe, is in the position of wanting to take like a week away or something like that, which I don't blame him, to just let it go away. But wherever he comes back, it'll flare up again. My suggestion is to basically ignore the kid until he stops crying, or ignore the bully and he'll move on to something else when he gets bored. That type of thing. Pretend he doesn't exist. If he's in a group that you're in, ban him or remove yourself from that group if he's an admin of it. Unfollow all his pages, unsubscribe. In fact, actually, I know I said I'd done this in the last video, but I technically hadn't. Let me swap to my main account. I just want regular YouTube, please. Apologies for this brief intermission, but I said I was going to do this, and I haven't, and I want to be a man of my word. Show 696 more. I'm just going to... Is this in alphabetical order? It should be. A. So I'm subscribed to Alishanmao Life and Alishanmao. Pardon me while I just unsubscribe. Unsubscribe. Lol, he has a join button. That's quite funny. So that's that both gone. He hasn't released any videos about this. He's doing it all via Facebook, I think, to remove himself from this. He's also now doing herbal remedy. Kill cold and flu instantly. Same day relief. Fuck that. For a sausage. Yeah, we'll get rid of that. Yeah, so I've done that bit. Another thing I'm going to do actually is let me go to Facebook. And I'm just going to find... I was originally accepted because I kind of wanted to have a look. Search Facebook for LT Rambler RS. How the fuck do I leave? Unfollow group. Yeah, I've reported the group as well for hate speech and bullying. No, I take it. Well, let that go through. Anyway, let me go back to my document of quick notes that I made. So yeah, unsubscribe, unfollow, do all this stuff. Just pretend he doesn't exist, and eventually he will shut up and go away. Another thing, of course, that if you do have some sort of platform like a YouTube channel, mostly a YouTube channel, to be honest with you, if you're someone like, especially if you're someone like XJet or Andrew Newton, especially XJet, who comments on stuff that's going on in the hobby, and I do class this as something that's going on in the hobby because it's something that if other people do, is just fucking atrocious. Just make people aware of it and say that, maybe encourage people to do like what I've done, what I've said, to unfollow, unsubscribe, and just warn and be aware of this person, and just to try and make him go away, basically. So inform and then forget he exists, basically, or move on. Don't keep harping on and going back to it. And something that I would also say as well is that Matt, as the admin of the fan group of the Rambler, which I think should be changed to like community group or something like that, is put out a post that says, maybe from midnight on the 10th, because I'm recording this on the night, midnight on the 10th, we are no longer going to discuss this drama. Any posts will be removed. Don't ban people, just remove the posts, so we can forget that this happened and move on. As somebody said, it's not really a fan group anymore, because a lot of people are not fans. They might be fans of the product, but they can't be fans of the product because of what's going on here. A couple of sort of last things that I want to say or clear up is I actually had someone message me that they understood what I was trying to say, but people could take it out of context and construe it the wrong way. As part of my original hour-long video on the subject, I did say something about what the Chinese like doing of blocking things they don't like on social media. To be clear, I don't mean Chinese people necessarily. I'm meaning more the Chinese Parliament, the Chinese Communist Party, the way that they like the social class system or whatever it's called, where like if you post something bad about the party that's in control, you get shot basically, and some of the things that are going on in Hong Kong and things like that. Basically, Chinese Communist Party, not the people that I want running the UK, for example. So again, when I meant what the Chinese like doing, I meant the Chinese government or the Chinese Communist Party. If I offended anybody by not making that abundantly clear, I apologise, but I was meaning more the Chinese Parliament or the Chinese law, or the way that things are run in China, not necessarily the Chinese people in there, because certainly not all of them are happy about the situation that's in their own country, and that's fair enough. Another apology that I actually want to make, and it's I don't think that I was completely wrong in my first video, but I want to apologise to Songbo Shi, the original designer of the LTE Rambler and a mix of other models. I branded him with the same brush as Alishanmao, Ali Mansoor, whatever his name is. Ali is a fucking lunatic, and I don't believe Songbo Shi is. I mean, he's only said two things throughout this whole thing. He said that he was the one who banned him and not Ali, and also said that and he came up with some really stupid reasons, like he said, they're always clearly being paid off or whatever the hell, which isn't true. And as I pointed in that video, if anything, he'd want to sell the model, claim things it couldn't do, like maybe Ali does. But again, he also came and said that he apologised for the ban actually, and said that it may have been something to do with the translation between English and Chinese that made him make that decision when it may not have been right. And I can see where he's coming from. Like if someone was trying to convince me and say Italian, which I barely know any of, I was about to say bonjour, but that's fucking French. But that shows you how little I know of Italian. And someone was trying to tell me good things about somebody, yet someone in my other ear was telling me bad things about somebody in English, then just because I could understand it easier, or someone who was Italian with very broken English, for example, I'll probably go with the person who could speak English properly because I could fully understand their points, especially if it was like a snap decision type of thing. So for him, who speaks Chinese, whichever form of Chinese he speaks, if he's got Mathew Ogborne and his supporters saying things in a language he does not fully understand, and then you've got, if you like, the devil on his shoulder in the form of Alishanmao speaking perfect Chinese into his ear, spitting poison, then I don't necessarily blame him for going with Ali, especially as someone like Matt was brand new to him, and then Ali, he's clearly been working together for a while, or known each other for a while. So, again, he only said two things. One of them was, yes, I banned him for these reasons that were fucking stupid reasons. I won't go back off of that. But he also apologised for it. So I want to apologise for branding him with the same brush as Ali. I still think the things that he said were fucking stupid, but there are possible reasons why he said those things. And I want to possibly extend a hand of friendship, almost. Well, not friendship, but a hand of forgiveness, or of putting this to bed without just sticking up a brick wall between the two things. And what I will say is that this seems like it's Ali's fuck up. If what he says is true and he's nothing to really do with the business, and he's just basically the same as Matt, a reviewer who reviews stuff for Banggood, reviewer in air quotes. What I will say is that I would forgive the LTE brand and Songbo-shi himself if he did something to distance himself from Ali. Now, the problem is that official group that he's in, it's owned by Ali, and he's admin on there. I don't think if he wanted to, he could get rid of Ali out of that group. But you know what he could do? He could leave that group, join Matt's, and apologise and denounce and sort of distance himself from Ali. Because Ali seems like the bad character here. I almost think that Songbo-shi, again, I think most of where that came from was culture differences, pre-obtained relationships. Like, he obviously knows Ali a lot more than he knows Matt. And again, the difference in language and the way that things run in China compared to East and West. So yeah, if he can distance himself from Ali and say that, not even if he turns around and says that Ali is an idiot and sort of goes completely on Matt's side, but just as he says, I don't think that Ali is the type of person that I want so close anymore, and sort of distance himself, if he could go full snap and remove himself from the official group, move himself over to Matt's fan group, and go from there. Just distance himself, or do some sort of recompense towards Ali to distance himself, because Ali's clearly the bad character. I don't 100% believe Songbo-shi is. And again, I think what might come across as badness, I think at least some of it can be chalked up to culture and language barriers and things like that. So I don't want to apologise to Songbo-shi for saying that you're a fucking idiot. Your points were stupid. I will not apologise for that. I personally think they are fucking stupid in that first post. But there's one thing saying sorry and apologising for the banning and for possible confusion or whatever you actually said you were apologising for. A little bit of action is needed. Don't be too prideful. You should be happy of your work. And, if you turn around and said, personally for me, I don't believe that the extra modifications were required, and the extra efficiency gained from having smaller blah, 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 blah is more important to me, blah, blah. Fair enough. You can have differing opinions on if a mod is required, as long as you have reasons for and against, that's no problem. That's human beings. That's having a difference of opinion. But attacking someone and saying that, no, you're wrong, when you could factually say that the mods do help or whatever, but, you know, it's hard to say. And again, I'm doing this at like 9:15. It is now. After 10 hours at work, lots of time driving back and forth. I'm just sat in my boxers in a t-shirt, having a drink. Non-alcoholic, because I don't drink, really. I'm ready for some sleep once this is uploaded. But yeah, I mean, what I will say at the end of this is, if Songbo Shi didn't just apologise in words or in text or whatever, but actually did some actions to apologise, and distance himself from Ali, because if it is what he said, and it is just Ali is some sort of, you know, Banggood reviewer in air quotes, then Songbo Shi should embrace more of them, because if he gets tied to one, then he's in their pocket. They're in each other's pocket, and it's just a nightmare. If he can embrace more of them, you know, send one out to XJet, send one out to Andrew Newton, send one out to me, I won't mind, and see where we go from there. But you know, if Songbo Shi actually does action on this as an apology and actually does something instead of just a post on a Facebook page, then I am willing to, compared to what I was the first time, because Ali has gone so far off the deep end, that I am willing to forgive LTE and Songbo Shi if they do something. Because for all we know, Songbo Shi has been quiet since he's done those 2 posts. He might be screaming in the background at Ali to say, shut up, shut up, shut up, shut up, and Ali isn't doing it. We don't know what's being said behind the scenes. It would also probably be in Mandarin or something like that that if we tried and translate, wouldn't make sense properly. But for all you know, Songbo Shi is begging him to shut up, and he keeps going and going and going and going and going. So we don't know that. I would like to think that maybe that is happening. That's maybe just me, for once, trying to think the best of people. But you know, if he turns around and says, I've decided to distance myself from Ali and go more independent and embrace more creators or whatever they want to call themselves, more reviewers or whatever, then that's fine. One thing I do want to say is big up to Banggood. I'm not sure if they know what's been going on, but Matt did post his review to Banggood and they kept it. You know what? This just tops everything off brilliantly. Matt gave it a 4-star review. How does that say that he hates the product? It was 4 stars because there was a small issue that the plane is still flyable. It's not like the Sonic model binary that just is a disaster for everybody who tries and flies it. They actually, you know, he said, other than this minor issue with the plane itself, that's it. He did mention in his review that the customer service is brilliant, which is a very nice way of putting it. But again, Ali is technically not a member of customer service. You know, you see what I mean. You know, Songbo Shi again wasn't brilliant. But I mean, that's unfortunately that's my experience with a lot of Chinese customer service. And people might say, "Oh, well, that's racist just because they're Chinese." But no, in general, Hobby King, Banggood, Bev RC in the past, that was another Chinese company, are generally not brilliant. I can't actually mention any that are absolutely super brilliant. When I've spoken to XUAV, for example, they've always been, they seem to be nice, but I've only spoken to them like once or twice. Yeah, I don't want to ramble too long, so I've got to actually upload this and then let my computer turn off. So I'm going to leave it there. But yeah, I am blocking and unsubscribing and moving away as much as possible as I can from Ali. I don't want anything to really do from him. I am ignoring LTE for now. I will listen to what they say, but I will not necessarily act on them. Yeah, it really is just an utter shower of shit. Yeah. Well, unless something drastic happens, like they go to court or something, this will be the last I mention of it, because as I say, I want to practice what I preach and just ignore what's happening. Yeah. 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 Anyway, that was the video. Yeah, if I was you, I would just remove yourself and distance yourself from Ali. If you have some sort of platform that you can talk about this on, please do so. Yeah. So I've distanced I've got rid of. I'm no longer in the group, the Alishanmao group. I'm in the original one. I'm not necessarily a fan of the model. I'll probably never buy the model unless Mr. Songbo Shi sorts himself out. Maybe I'll contact him. Maybe I'll contact him and see if he has a comment, maybe. But I kind of want to just ignore that this is a thing that's happened at this point, because I'm fed up of it. But yeah. Thank you all for watching this. Again, I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. But yeah. I'm going to leave now, and I'm going to have a sleep. I'm going to enjoy my sleep, and I'm going to continue enjoying building and flying models. And we'll just leave it there. This has been about half an hour, longer than I wanted it to be. But we'll leave it here. Thank you for watching. Any more comments or anything, of course, feel free to leave them down below. Like and subscribe and all that other jollop. But I'll see you next time with hopefully something actually half decent to do. There's plenty of stuff going on about the AXN. Got a few video of those videos coming up soon. Really excited about that, and we'll see what happens. But thank you all very much for watching. Like, subscribe, and all that other jollop. I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.